Hello my friends. Being able to play trills confidently enhances every musical performance. There are 4 different aspects you need to think about and you be aware of before executing a trill successfully. The first one is the speed. I'll come to talk about all these 4 aspects in a minute. The second one is the clarity of the trill. And then we've got to start to think about the beginning of each trill and also about the ending of each trill. But before we can even trill a note, we have to check out the position of the left hand, and I'll show you what you need to think about. You'll have to think about the fact that your wrist is straight, so playing a trill like this will be near impossible to do. And you also need to think about the position of your thumb, because the thumb needs to be relaxed there, and before that has got relaxed enough, it's no use starting to play with trills, because then the trill will become very hard. But if you find yourself playing with a nice relaxed thumb, if you can move it while you play like that, then that is the right time to start playing trills. Fingers will also need to be held above the string, so sometimes I see people playing like this. It's not good to play a trill like that. Your fingers need to be hovering over the strings while you play. Okay, and then lastly, you need to be able to play on your fingertips, and I'll show you that from this angle. If your fingers go flat like that, it's not very nice, not a very good accurate trill you can achieve like that. So fingers on fingertips, that means your left elbow should be able to move under the violin like that. Okay, depending on the style of the music, the trills can be played faster or slower, but they have to be even in pace to be able to sound good. Practice playing the trills, picking up your trilling finger from the bass knuckle with it, which is from here, so that your fingers will, as it were, fall down on the string like that, and you tap the fingerboard just like that. Okay, so you pick up your finger as high as you can, to get the trill going, and that is a very good exercise. And a general rule when you start to play trills is that you lift off your fingers from the bass knuckle, from here, so your whole finger goes up like that. Okay. If the trill is very uneven in quality, then practice playing trills in rhythms. So you might go or the other way around, which will then gradually turn into like that. Okay. Practicing trills with different rhythms will not only improve the clarity, it will also improve the speed of your trill. If you play trills, you want to make sure that the finger that you hold, so in my case I'm playing a 2 and 3 trill like this, you have to be careful that you don't press the second finger down too hard, or you will slow down your trilling third finger. So be quite relaxed. You don't need to press it harder down than just to stop the string, otherwise you're wasting your own energy. Unless your music is very fast, then try and play your trills fairly slowly. It will help the speed, first of all. It will make it more regular in pace, and it will also help the clarity of the trill. If you play a trill too fast, you risk sounding out of tune. A trill which is played too fast, it depends on the space where you play it, of course, but a trill played too fast sounds quite often as if you play a note out of tune, so you don't want to achieve that with your trilling. When we trill, we tend to think mostly about the left hand, but actually a good trill will also need a good bowing technique. What happens when you trill, I don't know if you can see this from there, but you can perhaps see that my string moves a little bit when I trill, because my finger is tapping it. And therefore with the bow, you'd have to grip the bow onto the strings a little bit more tightly to get a good sound. Moving the bow towards the bridge will also help enhance a good clear trill. Many books have been written about how to execute trills in different styles of music, and my first rule it always says your trills should fit the style of the music that you're playing in. So that goes for slow pieces require slower trills and faster pieces require faster trills. But there are also more or less official rules about, for instance, the main one is that if you play a Baroque piece, your trills usually start on the upper note. So you get, whereas in later periods you might start a trill on the bottom note, like that. And there are of course many different variables. Composers have been writing trills when they mean a turn or a mordent, which is just a single up and down trill, an upper mordent or a lower mordent, and turns and so on. And quite often composers write quite precisely the way you need to execute those trills, but as a general rule we say in Baroque music start on the upper note. Sometimes it also indicates in the music the number of trills that a trill should include. So sometimes you count the number of trills. Mostly on the violin we would just fill up the time with an appropriate amount of shakes, finger movements, but especially when you play together with piano, it might, and you have both got trills together, it might well make sense to count out the trills and to play them precisely together.